Hey everybody, it's me, home from the hospital. Yay. Um, Glad to be home. It is 1 month and 1 day post-op for me. And I'm going to take my glasses off because I just hate this glare. So it's 1 day and 1 month post-op. I think I said that backwards, but you guys get what I mean. And for starters, my highest weight was 395 pounds. The day of my surgery, I was 366, 364, something like that. And yesterday, I weighed 338.6. So that was good. I'm not going to even try to do the math on how much weight I've lost. I'll just say I've lost over 50 pounds. That's fair. That seems accurate, yeah. Please excuse my hair and my appearance, because as normal, I'm no makeup and I'm in my nightgown. But this time, I actually have good reason to look like this. So I went for my 1 month appointment yesterday with my surgeon. And for the past 2 weeks, I have been so sick. Like, when it started last week, it was toward the beginning, like Tuesday of last week. I went in for that upper GI, and then after having to drink that terrible, rotten, awful stuff that they make you drink for that, I started throwing up. And I just felt terrible. Well, after that, the nausea just continued. Until yesterday. And by the weekend, I was thinking I should, even if this was a bug, I should really be feeling better right now, but I'm not. And you'll have to excuse the noise. My husband's coming in the door. Say hello.
Hello.
So, yeah, I was thinking I should really be better by now, even if it was a stomach bug. You can actually leave that door open. It gives me better light. So anyway, I just kept feeling bad and kept feeling bad. And then I started this week, almost every morning this week, I would throw up at least a couple of times. And I would feel nauseous all day long. And it was weird because my doctor put me on Protonics for my stomach because I do have a history of GERD. And so he put me on that so that didn't start up again. And because I had felt so bad, I hadn't been eating. I hadn't been drinking really. I mean, I was drinking more than I was eating, but I literally couldn't hold anything down. But back to the Protonics. It's a really small pill. And he was like, you should be able to swallow this. You can't crush it like your other ones, but you should be able to swallow it, no trouble. So I would take that, and immediately after taking it, I would have to run to the bathroom and then hang over the sink and gag for 10 minutes. And the first day I took the Protonics, I got sick, and I was taking my Zofran at this time. I'm still taking Zofran. And I did not take it first thing that morning. I'd gone ahead and taken the Protonics, and then I went to get in the shower, and, I got sick, recovered from that, got in the shower, and while I was in the shower, I started feeling sick again. And I get out, and after I had taken my other medicine, I had to throw up again. So then the next day happened again. Then the next day it happened again. So yesterday it happened again, and it was really bad when I threw up this time. And I actually had to pull over on the side of the road on the way to my doctor's visit to actually throw up. That's never a pleasant thing to do. So, went to his office, told him what was going on. obviously he was concerned, and he was like, the complications you're describing, you don't have a leak, you don't have a narrowing anywhere. Food seems to be emptying okay. So he was kind of at a loss and just said that, my complications are rare. Not a lot of people have them, but I could just be one of those people that I have to take longer to adjust. And I know everybody who has a surgery has to retrain themselves how to eat and how to drink, but he thought that I might be the person that literally has to retrain my body to handle food, to process food, to do anything with food. But he was like, you're probably, because you've been getting sick, you're probably a little dehydrated. So we're going to send you to get some fluids. And I think with a couple bags of fluids in you, you'll feel better. So I'm sitting there and I feel like death. Like, I was not even able to blow dry my hair. I was sitting there with my wet hair in a ponytail at my doctor's visit, which I never go out in public like that. And because my energy gave out halfway through my shower, halfway through washing my hair. Sorry, my nose itches. But I had no energy and I felt just awful. So I go, I'm sitting there and they're trying to get me in at the infusion center over at TMC, which is the hospital where I had my surgery at. It's in Denison, Texas. It was the closest one for me being in southern Oklahoma. So that's one I went with. But they were trying to see if they could get me in the infusion center, and they were completely full. And he was like, I don't really want to have to admit you to the hospital over there, and I don't want to have to send you to the ER because of all the flu that's going on. So he was like, we'll call and see what we can do. Turns out TMC did not have an open bed anywhere in their hospital. They had that many flu patients that every single room they had was filled, and they did not have any open rooms in the emergency room even. Flu's bad, people. And he didn't want me over there, and obviously I didn't want to be over there. So they called a smaller surgical hospital where my doctor has done some surgeries, and they were like, could you have her come in and then just give her a couple bags of fluid? And they said yes. So I go in, barely make it into the building, feel just awful. I'm a direct admin, or not admin, but admit for the fluids. So they took forever for them to get me registered, and then when they finally take me back to the room, and when I get to the room, I sit down in the recliner and I'm looking at the bed, and it was the first time that I actually craved getting to lay down in a hospital bed, because hospital beds are terribly uncomfortable. Oh, that bed looked luxurious. It looked like the best bed that ever existed to me at that moment. I felt like I couldn't go on. I needed to lay down. So as soon as it took them a while to get in the nurse and the lab tech, it took them a while to come into the room. And actually both of them were weight loss surgery patients themselves. So they were letting me know all about it, what to expect from here, and that things will get easier. But as soon as they went to draw my blood, I was like, can I get in the bed? Can I just go over there and lay down? And they were like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be best for your infusion anyway. So I'll go lay down, and it's like, oh, I'm in a bed. And they draw my blood. They get my IV hooked up, and they get my fluids going. And so I had to wait a little while on my blood work because some of it they couldn't run at their facility since they're just a smaller surgical hospital. Some of it had to be sent over to the lab at TMC, so they had to wait to get some of it back. But they come in, and I'd been napping while I was getting my infusion because I was just that exhausted. And they came in, and that 2 hours just went by so fast. And I was like, oh, but my body doesn't want to move. It doesn't want to get out of this bed. It is cold. I just want to stay here. I don't know if I can drive myself home. Like, felt so bad. And then they were like, okay, well, we'll go get your paperwork ready. And a few minutes, they come back with the news that you're not going anywhere. You are more dehydrated than we thought, and your creatinine or creatine, however you want to say it, is a 3. It should be 1 or less. So my kidneys were in the process of not functioning correctly to on the way of not functioning at all. So my potassium was also low, and there was something else that was low. But so they went from just the regular hydrating fluids, I guess, to a different type of fluid. And the hospitalist came in to see me, told me what was going on. My surgeon, after his office closed, he came over to check on me, which I thought was nice because obviously he didn't have to do that. But he came over to check on me, and he was like, I had no idea how bad this was. I'm glad that you came to see me today and that you didn't wait, that you changed your appointment and you didn't wait till next week. And, he was like, he couldn't even imagine that this was the actual case. But, I had been saying for a while that I didn't feel well. And, so I stayed. I had to have a lot of nausea medication. And then I think in total, by the time I left today, I had 6, I kind of lost count. So it was like 6 to 8 bags of fluid. So 6 to 8 liters of fluid replaced in my body. And then my creatine or creatinine level went back down to where it was supposed to be. I had to drink some liquid potassium, which was awful. Oh my Lord, it was awful. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was like an orange gone bad mixed with margarita salt. It was real bad. So, I took that, and everything went back to where it was supposed to be. And so, I am now home, 6 to 8 bags of fluid later. Everyone kept saying that I looked like a completely different person than when I came in before. Even the doctors were saying that. And when my surgeon came by this morning, he told me that he thinks the reason I was started throwing up, was because of the kidney function being off. So, like I said, I weighed 338 at his office, but I'm quite sure after all that fluid, that weight has gone back up. But I'm okay with that because I'm hydrated, and now the big part is going to be staying hydrated. So the moral to this story is, when people tell you to drink and people tell you to sip all day long, just sip, 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 they aren't lying. It'll get on your nerves. Trust me. Gets on my nerves. It's like, how much can I drink in a day, people? I didn't even drink this much before surgery. But, as my surgeon put it, I was treading water and I just couldn't keep up. And, your body can't handle that. I was very scared when I found out that my kidney function was impaired. that the levels were rising. My dad had kidney failure as a result of his cancer. So I was familiar a little bit with the terminology and the things that were going on. And I was very scared. I had to do some praying, and I couldn't believe that I was at the point that my body was actually going to shut down. It had already started shutting itself down. I slept so much. Like I said, I slept the 2 hours while I was getting the initial 2 liters of fluid. And then after my husband went home last night, I started dozing about 8:30 or so. I went completely to sleep after he texted me at 9, and then I woke up at 11:15, and they still hadn't brought my nighttime meds, and I usually take my anxiety medication, my mood stabilizer, and my sleeping pill. So obviously I was really tired that I could sleep without all that stuff. But yeah, it took them that long. Like, they changed shifts at 6:30, I think. It was 6 or 6:30 that they changed shifts. And it took them until midnight, almost, to come and take my vital signs and give me my medication. It's not a very big hospital. They only have like 12 or 13 rooms. But that's what happened. So they came in, gave me my night meds, said goodnight. I was out. Came in at 6 o'clock this morning, and I hate morning people. I'm not a morning person. And my nose is itching again. But they came in, the lab tech came in at 6 o'clock this morning, just bursting full of energy, like, too much coffee for that lady. Too much coffee. And I'm just like, what? I don't know what's happening. What are we doing? And so she draws my blood. I try to go back to sleep. Well, then the nurse comes in. And they take my vitals. And then breakfast was on its way. And so I actually ate. I ate a little bit, like a few bites of scrambled eggs. And then I was done. And then I drank a little bit of juice and a little bit of water. And then I went back to sleep until about, well, no, I guess I was up until about 9 o'clock. And then I went back to sleep, and I woke up a little after 11. And I haven't been back to sleep since then. But they were like, my surgeon just told me I needed time, I needed rest, and I needed to take better care of myself. I needed to drink all that I was supposed to drink. So I got a lot of sleep, but I'm still tired. And anyway, like I was saying, even though it gets on your nerves when people tell you to drink, you have to drink. And at this point, I know that I don't want to end up in this position ever again. So I'm going to have to make myself drink, even if I'm not thirsty. I'm just going to have to make myself do it. So yeah, let me be your example of what not to do. And please drink your water. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.